There is a specific kind of exhaustion that outsiders almost never see. It hides behind the three most harmless words in the world: I am fine. Or maybe, no worries, I can handle it. You might be the type of person who always takes the losing side in a disagreement. You refuse to let anyone help you, even when your hands are full. People look at you and see someone who is incredibly strong. They call you easygoing. They might even think you are just a safe, agreeable person who never wants to cause trouble. But what if your habit of constantly saying that you are okay is not actually a sign of strength? What if it is just a desperate reflex? A way for your nervous system to quickly put out a fire just to avoid an even heavier emotional toll. On the surface, you look completely calm. You still show up to work on time. You still smile when someone asks how your weekend was. You still type out the words, "Leave it to me, I will take care of it." But right beneath that surface, there is a completely different reality. Your nervous system is running on 1% battery, and you are terrified of becoming a burden to anyone else. Let us look at the first layer of this behavior, the automatic reflex of a deeply exhausted nervous system. You have probably noticed that the phrase, "I am fine," leaves your mouth before your brain even has a chance to process the question. A coworker might look at you and ask, "Hey, you look tired today. Is everything okay?" Instantly, your shoulders jump, you force a quick laugh and wave your hand. You say, "Oh no, I am totally fine." To the outside world, this looks like a polite deflection. But if we peel back that layer, we find something else. This is called emotional masking. When your internal battery is completely drained, your brain simply refuses to process any more external input. You deflect because you are terrified that if you actually tell the truth, you might just break down. And worse, you would not know how to clean up the mess of your own emotions in front of them. So you smile. You lie. Because hiding behind a mask takes less energy than explaining your reality. Now, let us look at how this shows up when things get tense. Buying peace by taking the loss. Think about the last time you were in a frustrating situation. You sit there holding your phone. You type out a massive, emotionally honest paragraph explaining exactly why you are hurt. You stare at the glowing screen in the dark room. And then you hit backspace. You delete every single word. Instead, you just type, "Okay, let us just do it your way." Then you put the phone face down on the table, lean back, and let out a long sigh. People might look at this and think you are a pushover. They might think you do not care enough to argue. But psychology points to a very different mechanism. It is called the Fawn response. It is a survival mechanism where you subconsciously appease others just to avoid conflict. Your nervous system cannot handle the loud, chaotic noise of an argument. Taking the blame is the fastest way your brain knows how to pull the emergency switch. It shuts down the conflict to protect whatever tiny bit of energy you have left. You are not keeping the peace. You are sacrificing your own internal peace to serve as a human shield for everyone else's comfort. Somewhere along the line, you learned a very painful lesson. You learned that explaining yourself rarely changes the outcome. It just makes you tired. So you choose silence, not because it is fine, but because being ignored when you speak up hurts more than staying quiet. Let us move to the next layer, the absolute terror of being an inconvenience. You might be running a high fever, your body completely aching, but you will still get out of bed and drive yourself to the pharmacy. Your plate at work could be overflowing, but when a colleague walks by and offers a hand, you instantly put up a wall. You smile and say, "No, I have got it." When someone offers to help, your brain does not always register it as kindness. It registers it as a debt you feel you will eventually have to pay back. So you politely decline, turn around, and continue carrying the heavy boxes alone. People look at this and assume you are just fiercely independent. Maybe they think you are a little stubborn, or even too proud to accept help. But true independence is a choice. What you are experiencing is hyper-independence. It is a trauma response. It is the overwhelming guilt that comes with asking for anything. Ask yourself, who taught you that your needs were too much? Usually, this extreme self-reliance is born in a past where you desperately needed help. You reached your hand out, and no one was there. You learned that hoping for someone to show up only leads to disappointment. So you made a subconscious promise to yourself. You decided that if you never ask for anything, you will never have to feel that letdown again. You are rejecting help because your nervous system is trying to protect you from the pain of being abandoned. You learn to survive by believing that the only person you can truly rely on is yourself. And this brings us to the breaking point. You are the person who can handle a massive life crisis with total calm. You navigate through financial stress or family drama, and you do not shed a single tear. You are the rock. But then, on a random Tuesday, you are in the kitchen making dinner. You accidentally drop a spoon on the floor, and suddenly, you collapse onto the kitchen floor and cry like a child. You might spend the whole night staring at the ceiling, wondering what is wrong with you. Why could you handle a major loss last year, but you cannot handle a minor inconvenience today? Outsiders, and even you yourself, might look at this and think you are overreacting. You might feel crazy, wondering why you are having a breakdown over a dropped spoon. But psychology calls this emotional displacement. You are not crying over the spoon. You are crying over the exhaustion you have refused to acknowledge for the past 6 months. Your body has been holding on to so much suppressed tension, unsaid pain, and fake smiles. Your emotional capacity was entirely full, and that tiny mistake was simply the drop of water that made the glass overflow. That dropped spoon was just the safe physical excuse your nervous system needed to open the pressure valve. That breakdown is not a sign of weakness. It is your body dropping to its knees, begging you to finally give yourself permission to be tired. If you see your own reflection in this behavior, I need you to hear this. Your habit of saying, "I am fine," your extreme independence, your absolute avoidance of conflict, none of these are character flaws. You are not broken. These behaviors were an excellent emotional shield. They helped you survive your hardest days in environments that lacked empathy. You did a really good job protecting yourself when no one else would. But my friend, every shield is heavy, and you cannot wear heavy armor to sleep. You have spent your life using the lie, "I am fine," to protect other people from the inconvenience of your pain. You have swallowed your own voice to keep the room quiet. It is time to start using the truth to protect yourself. You do not have to live your entire life in survival mode. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to let someone else carry the grocery bags for once. And most importantly, you are allowed to put the armor down. Before you go, I want to ask you something. When do you find yourself using the phrase, "No worries, I am fine," the most? Is it when you are terrified of bothering someone, or is it when you are simply too exhausted to explain how much you are hurting inside? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one.